Hi, this is Bob Lieber, and this is another segment in the LBI Business Builders Initiative. And I'm here today with Pat Sepanak, the owner of Sand Realty. And really excited to talk with Pat. She's been tracking the trends of LBI real estate for many, many years, and so she's got great insight to share today about what's happening in the real estate market on LBI with sales, with rentals, etc. But first, Pat, tell us, how are you? How's your family?
We're doing well. We're all healthy, and we're very thankful for that. We have been following the instructions of staying home and keeping social distance. About the other time we go out to walk the dogs. And basically, we are all really getting ready to get back to the office, including the dogs, for us to get back to the office.
That's great. So can you share with us a little bit about sort of what's the status of your business today? Are there showings? Are you getting phone calls? Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening with your business?
Sure. We are physically closed at the moment, as was mandated. However, phones are all coming into my house, and we are still doing business. It was a little quiet through March. By April, we were fielding a lot more phone calls from our summer vacationers, wondering about how their vacation was going to be this summer. I think there was some misinformation out there with some of the ordinances that were passed locally, where you couldn't write a lease, but that was to not write a lease for that particular time period of renting in April until June 1st. People misinterpret that. The beaches being, quote, closed down, who could go on them, and thinking it was going to be the same situation when they arrived. So we spent a lot of time on the phone trying to get the correct information out. And we can't assure them exactly what the vacation's going to be, but there'll be a vacation. Showing of homes done a little differently. Again, a little bit quieter in that area, but what we're trying to do is to make sure we have a very qualified buyer. We will take them through FaceTime with them to see the inside of a home. So we're really relying at this time period on the internet, communicating. I'm getting out newsletters to my homeowners to keep them posted of what's happening in the marketplace. So emails and newsletters, FaceTime, Zoom. I have 2 new agents. We're doing training. We have a Monday meeting, and we're doing it through Zoom. So the internet gives us a lot of ability to keep that dialogue going.
That's great. So for people who were in the market, they were in the middle of, say, contracts, buying or selling, has it been different for them, or has that pretty much proceeded on course?
It's different because the title companies also are not supposed to be open. So a lot of it is done electronically, remotely, through the internet to get that closing done. We lost a few deals. People got nervous. So, that's understandable. Hopefully they'll come back.
Right.
So everybody kind of we're internet oriented. I think we found out how much we could actually do through the internet.
Yeah, I think that's a big discovery a lot of people are making these days. So it's good to know that it's happening in the real estate business too. Well, Pat, can you tell us a little bit about sort of anything you want your customers to know, whether it's, rental customers or whether it's people who are looking to buy a house or looking to sell their house, anything you'd like them to know about how to deal with sort of the times we're in right now as it relates to real estate transactions?
Yeah, I think part of being in a lockdown really gave me time to do some thinking and some planning, knowing we were going to come back. We were going to be in the midst of the summer rentals, checking people in, checking people out, trying to show houses. How are we going to do that? And how are we going to do that safely and keeping everyone healthy? So I now have 5 pages of protocol that we didn't have. Gloves, booties, masks, check-in. We're going to probably do it outside under the shelter of our garage. We have a Tommy Bahama bar. We have palm trees. We'll have Jimmy Buffett music. We want to make it fun.
Sure.
but we want to be able to keep everybody healthy. So we will either bring the keys to their car, they can come up if they want, but at least we'll all be in fresh air. We've changed out all our key tags to solid plastic so they can be sterilized before they go back out again.
Wow.
So we're doing everything we can to keep it going, but keep it going safely for everyone.
Yeah, that all makes a ton of sense. 5 pages of protocol is amazing. So can you tell us about a little bit about, like, what are your rental customers saying? You know, what kind of feedback are they giving you about what their fears are or what they're optimistic about? And then maybe on the flip side, what are maybe your rental owners, feeling the same way? Because I can imagine if somebody's looking to, they have a vacation book, they want to go to the house, they're wondering, will it be safe for me? So what kind of things are you hearing in the way of questions?
I think a lot of it evolves around, obviously, the COVID-19. And, first it was, will the beaches be open? Will there be restaurants open? And I think as we've gone along, they can see that movement's happening and everybody's working to open up those beaches 100%. So we've kind of got over that hurdle. Yes, there's concern, how's the house going to be cleaned? Yeah, one of the newsletters sent out to my homeowners was with some recommendations of the areas you want to have your cleaning service or yourself pay more attention to, some of the products that you want to use. I find all my homeowners were very thankful to get the information. They want to implement it. They too want to have a safe and clean house. We talk to our tenants. If it were me, I'd bring all my wipes down with me and my Clorox, and I don't care who cleaned it. I'd probably go in and I'd do another wipe just to be sure. And we're encouraged to do that. Get to the level that you're going to be comfortable with. But yes, we're cognizant of the fact that everyone's looking to make sure we keep this virus out.
Sure.
So,
and do you find there's kind of a hunger to get to LBI? I mean, obviously, judging from the streets and the sidewalks, there's lots of people here already, but are you kind of finding that that's where the momentum is? People want to be here as opposed to afraid and want to stay away?
Yes, people want to be here. There's no doubt about it. I think what we're finding is the older segment of our rental market has much more concern, and rightly so. They're much more susceptible. So that end of it is nervous, and there have been cancellations. Their immune systems are compromised, whatever, and they're just not going to go any place. It's not against LBI. I think it's just they're staying home. But we have a lot of people in the last, I'd say 4 days, 5 days, the inquiries have picked up dramatically, which is a
Inquiries
great sign.
to rent. What you're saying is people are wondering, yes, are there places for me to rent? Are places going to be available?
Yes.
That's actually really encouraging.
And we're booking, which is the main part.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, we're making it happen.
You had mentioned something to me before we got on the Zoom session here about sort of the policy around contracts and, look at your rental contract and things like that in terms of making decisions about it. Can you share a little bit about sort of quote unquote, is there really a policy in place about rentals at this point?
Well, all these rentals, majority were done
Right.
COVID-19. So no, we had a standard cancellation policy. If we could re-rent, you get your money back. If not, you would lose your money. The ultimate decision is up to each and every homeowner. It's not a company's decision to make. We don't have the funds. They're gone. They went to the homeowner.
Right.
So there's been a variety of responses from homeowners. Some, given the situation of the elderly couple, have chosen to refund the money. For some, it's to apply it to next year. And some are, I'm hurting too. I don't have the money to give back. Yeah. So again, it's a tough time for everyone. Majority of the time, the people have hung in, decided to stay and come down.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just on a personal note, I was due to go to a wedding in London over Memorial Day, which has obviously been canceled. And I had 2 Airbnbs booked. One, they issued a full refund. The other ended up having to get converted into Airbnb credit. And I have a hotel that nobody can get a hold of to even get a cancellation. So I kind of get that same feeling that it's that issue everywhere else, that individual properties, individual owners are making, and renters are making decisions for themselves.
Yes.
Great. So as someone who's tracked the real estate market for a really, really long time with a lot of comprehensiveness, what advice would you have for the merchants? I know there's a lot of people who are open, but if their restaurants are open for takeout, there's gift shops, there's clothing shops that haven't been able to open. What advice would you have for them for the near term?
I think in what we're seeing right now in these last couple days, as I said, the number of requests, and what's been interesting is almost 50% are for June.
Really?
And we have booked a 7-weeker. We have booked a 4-weeker. I mean, people are calling and saying, I want length of time.
Interesting.
And they're taking a good part of it in June. We have openings. The kids are out of school. So I would say to the real estate community and the shop owners, people that own the restaurant, you may have a very busy June that you have not had before from what we're seeing. So get ready.
That's excellent. And then maybe just to wrap up, Pat, a little bit about sort of your own personal optimism about, having lived through Sandy and seen what happened to the island and the rebound. What are sort of your, opinions, and, are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? Are you worried? How are you feeling about, about the upcoming season and the livelihood of Long Beach Island?
I have seen so much take place on LBI. When I first started the business, it was 17% interest rates. The stock market crash of 1988, the recession of 2008, and Sandy's visit in 2012. And LBI is very resilient every time it comes back. And I have all my feelings that this is temporary. It will be a little painful. It will be a little challenging. It will be a little frustrating as we fight our way through the summer. At the end of the day, though, I think we're going to just be fine. We have this wonderful thing that's behind me.
Great
right?
image there of LBI.
Right? It is. And you can get up and see the sunrise. You can walk on the beach with your family. You can go to the street end and watch the sun set. And COVID-19 can't take that away from us. That's ours. And it's going to be here all summer for everyone. So I look at it positively.
That is really, really great advice, and really uplifting for the time that we're living in. So Pat, thank you so much for sharing all that with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you back in Surf City when we can all come visit.
We should be there the week right after Memorial Day, starting to prep, and hopefully officially June 1st.
Sounds great. Take good care, Pat.
Okay. You too. Thanks, Bob.
Bye.